In 2023, an article came out from The Guardian that read UK banks are closing more than 1,000 accounts every day without any explanation. A recent article that came out at the beginning of this year from Birmingham Live said almost 500,000 UK bank accounts have been closed in 2025. So we are going to be investigating why banks in the UK are shutting down accounts, from the obvious reasons like money laundering and the not so obvious reasons, and practical steps you can take if this does happen to you. Now, I won't lie, there was barely anything online when it came to this particular topic. I mean, it's not a popular topic to talk about, but when I was working in banking, one thing stood out to me, amongst other things, was bank accounts getting closed so often. And I was shocked by this. Maybe 2 to 3 times a month, someone's account was getting closed. There are obvious reasons as to why banks close accounts, which is suspicious or fraudulent activities such as money laundering, fraud, illegal transactions. And by law, banks are required to monitor for these signs, and this can also be found in the Proceeds of Crime Act 2002. Now, this is obvious but wasn't obvious to me until a few weeks after I joined the bank, which is if your account is dormant or inactive, banks can close it. Now, the reason why it wasn't obvious to me is because I just thought you open an account, if you haven't used it for 3 to 4 years, it's absolutely fine. But that is not the case. And the reason why they do this is because it helps protect both the bank and the customer from fraud or identity theft. Now, another obvious reason is unpaid debt or court orders such as bankruptcies, overdrafts, judgments. But it is not always about crime. Banks can close your accounts if they fail to complete KYC, which is known as Know Your Customer, and this is required. Now, banks need to verify your identity. If you have an expired ID, they can choose to close your account. Another not so obvious reason is using your personal account for business purposes. Now, so many customers are not aware that you cannot do that. Most banks' terms and conditions state that you cannot use your personal accounts for business transactions, and if they find this out, the banks can do so legally to close your accounts. Also, if you are not a UK resident, your account can be closed. So say, for example, you live abroad in the US, the bank can decide to close your account. Now, moving on to political views and opinions. Yes, your account can be closed because of your political views and opinions. Now, this doesn't happen so often, and for example, going back to the article I read at the beginning from The Guardian, Nigel Farage's political views played a part in his account getting closed. And let us not forget Kanye West. His accounts got closed because of the things he said online back in 2022. I'm not too sure if it's been resolved yet or not. There are other reasons, but I'll definitely make this my last point. Your account can get closed if you are abusive to staff members. Now, yes, a staff member has the right to close your account if you are abusive or threatening, and it should also be a known fact that anywhere you work, you should not tolerate any abusive behavior, and banks can terminate their relationship with the customer. Now, it doesn't just happen when a staff member can just decide. It goes through a chain of command. And now let us move on to what you can do if this does happen to you. Now, the first thing is, do not panic. This is an immediate reaction to a lot of people, is to panic. Secondly, contact the bank. Ask for the reason why, and if it is due to fraud, banks may not disclose that information. Banks are normally required to give you 60 days notice before your account is closed, and if it is due to fraud, or you are using your account for criminal activity, they can give you a shorter notice period. Also, there are some new rules when it comes to debanking. The government said it will increase the notice period to 3 months, and banks will be expected to provide a clear explanation in writing, and that is going to be taking place in April 2026. Now, the next thing that you can do is to make a complaint, and if you are unsatisfied, you can go to the FOS, the Financial Ombudsman. Ombudsman services. So if you look at the FOS website, they do have case studies of customers that this has happened to, and within those case studies it will give you information on what happened and the decisions that the FOS made. Another thing you can do is to open another bank account. Now, this is a grey area, and the only reason why I say that is because, say for example, you get your account closed by Barclays due to fraud, you can have a CFAS marker on your credit file. If you don't know what CFAS is a fraud prevention service that aids companies and individuals prevent financial crime. If you try to apply for a bank account at Lloyds, HSBC or elsewhere, they can reject your application, and this can impact your ability to get a new bank account. I have seen many instances of this happening, specifically to young people. When it comes to young people, they do not understand the implication that it might have on you in the future and your ability to get credit or open an account in the future. And I remember this girl, her account was going to get closed. She tried to open for bank accounts at Barclays, Monzo, Sterling, Lloyds, and all of them rejected her. But I do stress that if the decisions that you make does not benefit you in the future, don't do it at all, you know. I cannot stress that enough. And I remember another instance where a 14-year-old was getting their account closed due to fraud. Like I've said, if it doesn't benefit you, don't try to do it at all. In conclusion, we have looked at the obvious reasons why your accounts can get closed and the not so obvious reason. And in all that I have said, please do not panic. And don't think that it is the end of the world. I can understand it can be frustrating, but there are organizations out there that can help you. Now, all the resources that I have used for this video will be linked down below. And also, please share your story in the comments if this has happened to you, and if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment if you want to, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on my next video. Take care. Bye.